Welcome to the Transparent FX Academy. I'm Nick and I'm a top potter on TradingView with over 190k reputation points. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. This is the place to go for high quality, free trading education. Now, without further ado, let's jump straight onto the charts. In this video, I want to speak about Euro GBP because at the moment we do have quite interesting price action and structure. Now, as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I will be covering the technical aspect of this market, then we will move to the order flow. And by the end of the video, by using the combination of these two different types of analysis, we will try to understand where we have the highest probabilities for the next potential move here on this pair. Now, starting from the monthly time frame, what we can easily see is that this level was acting as previous monthly resistance here, turn support here, which now that the market has broken it to the downside and is once again testing it at this level, is currently acting as resistance. And as we're testing resistance, we could expect a potential rejection to the downside. So from a monthly perspective, we could expect some short-term bearish price action to develop away from this area. Going down on the weekly time frame, what do we have? Now, from a weekly perspective, we can notice how we just had a break above weekly structure. In fact, this zone was acting as previous weekly resistance here, from which this previous move to the downside had developed, which now that the market has broken it to the upside is turned support here. So what we could expect in a situation like this is a retest of this previous weekly resistance turn support before then getting a potential rejection to the upside. Going down on the daily time frame, what do we see? Now here on the daily, price action is quite clear. We have a market which, in creating this move to the upside, so in creating this impulse, this bullish impulse, has now also printed an overextended W formation. Now, in general, after the creation of an overextended W, what you would expect is for the market to create a correction at least to the 0.32 of the Fibonacci taken on the daily impulse. So, taking our Fibonacci from the low to the high of this impulse, we can see how we would have a 0.32 Fibonacci retracement currently lining up exactly this area, which we could expect the market to provide a correction to. Now, currently, we have now identified what we could expect in a situation like this, a correction to this 0.32. Now, what we must also keep in mind is that that 0.32 is currently also lining up exactly with this previous daily resistance, which is a very strong area of previous supply and resistance from which all this move to the downside was created, which is now turned support here. Now, when you have an area that creates a confluence of support, meaning that you have multiple layers of structure lining up at that area, like in this case where we have the 0.32 and the previous daily resistance turn support, both lining up here, this creates confluence of support at that level because you have two levels lining up exactly the same price levels. So what you would expect is the market to be attracted to this zone in order to go and test what kind of liquidity there is inside of this zone, because a lot of traders will be looking at this area. Now, if we go and see what we have when it comes to the commitment of traders, so the COT data, which is what the non-commercials, so the biggest speculators in the market are doing, and we check the data for the euro, we can see how on the euro, with the last reports, we have started to see a decrease of the net positions. We went from 146k down to 134k. Now, in the long term, the increase is huge. So in the long term, euro is very bullish. We went from minus 47k net positions with way more shorts than longs to now having plus 134k net positions with more longs than shorts. However, in this short term, we're starting to see a decrease, meaning that at least in the short term, there is the possibility to see some short-term weakness before then continuing to see strength. And if we go and see what we have when we look at the pound, what we can see here is that with the last reports, we have started to see once again getting an increase in the net positions. We went from minus 29k to minus 23k. So overall, we are starting once again to get bullish on the pound. And a strong pound and weak euro is exactly what we need if the market is to create this rejection to the downside. So everything seems to be lining up for a potential retest of this area. So how we could be approaching this potential short-term shorting opportunity back down to this confluence of support area. Now, as usual, trading is reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily combined with the COT data, those are the best time frames from a directional perspective. However, when it comes to confirmations and entries, the best time frames are the intraday time frames, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, what we could be doing, potentially also with students, is monitoring price action from an intraday perspective during this move to the upside, waiting for the market to shift from an intraday bullish market as we would have to an intraday bearish market. And if the market would shift from an intraday bullish to bearish market and provide to us one of our valid entries, at that point we could be looking for a potential rejection to the downside for the market to complete this W formation at the 0.32 of the Fibonacci taken on the daily impulse. Now, if you don't know what I'm speaking about when I say valid entries and these kind of things, that is all part of the mentorship program, which you can find at transparentfxtrading.com. Here you have the possibility to gain access to my entire course with all the rules of the strategies. You also have the possibility to gain access to one-on-one private mentoring, the VIP market breakdowns with the Telegram signals, the COT data software, which is the one that we used precisely in this analysis, the trading station software, which puts together everything that you need as a trader all in one interface. And if you scroll lower here, past the testimonials, you will see that you will have the possibility to join to gain automatically access with the email and password that you will create during the checkout process. So definitely looking forward to have you on board, and at least suggest that you go and check this out at transparentfxtrading.com. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button and comment below. It really does support the creation of more free analysis education and updates for all of you, and I will see you in my next breakdown.